Alrighty, hey again everyone. We're currently back with some more Minecraft. I finally got my mic all fixed up, I think after all this time, so it only took like multiple months to apparently figure out that I had the wrong setting on the back of my mic. So that was cool. We are currently on day 466, and I'm just kind of planning to do a lot of prep for today. We've got the new update coming out tomorrow that I'll go ahead and stream there as well, and we're just gonna kind of do a little bit of prep for all that good stuff. And by prep, I mean it's really just getting a hold of some netherite again and things like that. Also, hey Bean, it's been a while. But yeah, we need to go ahead and get a hold of some more netherite out in the nether. I think we've got 3 scrap in our base, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So we'll go ahead and do a quick tally on that, see how we're doing. Go check on the iron farm too while we're at it. We're doing alright. And I need to also install and lay the foundation for some of the other farms out in this area because I have a lot of space to fill. And this space to fill too. I need to actually start putting a lot in there at some point, but at least for now we got our base and it is in fact basin, so let's see what we got in here. 2 scrap. Yeah, we could work with that. We'll have to do a check on our bamboo and sugarcane farm, but sounds like we got a chicken jockey nearby. Oh, just a regular ass baby zombie, huh? Dang, he must have had some really good armor to live that fall, because normally they don't, so... Not quite. So the other one, where I was actually, like, making the mountains by hand, that was my old hardcore world that I had for, like, 2,000 days. This is a new-ish one that I've been working on for a little less than 500 days, so we're getting to be fairly close to day 500, but... Yeah, this is just one I've been working on where I'm trying to dig a hole down the bedrock basically, and it's gonna be like 3 million blocks big or something like that. So, a slight bit of work has to go into it, but it's gonna be worth it. And then let me go ahead and pop up here real quick. I think I can turn a render distance back to 32 chunks for a little bit, and that shouldn't completely break my game, probably. There we go. So my base is still a bit of a work in progress, but this is kind of what I'm dealing with right now, where basically I've got my actual base, both of my farms, some other farms, and this is going to be the hole that actually goes down into bedrock, and it is currently surrounded by just a nice patch of a mountain, so yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm been a pretty big fan of it, so I just need to cover up some of these bits that are like showing on the outside a little bit more, but I'm still kind of working on that. That stuff takes time. But yeah, it's been a pretty cool base so far. Got a lot done in just 500 days, so I'm pretty happy with it. I'm trying to cram like a good chunk of farms up into this area too. So basically whenever I'm in my base, I'm farming a ton of material up here on this level, and then that just gets me all the material I need to do whatever else from there. So at least that's the goal. This one's also totemless and shieldless unlike my old one, so basically if I die, that's it. There's no totems to bail me out. There's no shields to bail me out. It's just, it is what it is. So, hopefully I don't ever get to that point, but that is what I'm trying to avoid. But yeah, I just recently made the jump to like full netherite, and I gotta go back and get some more netherite, so... it happens. I've actually had my mic turned down too low for the past, like, couple of months at least, I'm pretty sure. Because my mic has 4 different settings, and the one that I had was for like bi-directional input, so somebody talking to the front of the mic and somebody else talking to the back of the mic, so it was a lot quieter than I meant. And I just fixed that yesterday after leaving it alone for like months, so it happens. No shame in it. But as long as you catch it at some point, you know. But yeah, we gotta go mine. I think like we'll just do like 8 pieces of netherite. Maybe we'll try 12 because we want 1 ingot for the netherite horse armor, 1 ingot for nautilus armor, and then we want another ingot for the spear. And for the spear as well, we may have to do some villager trading to get all of the enchantments ready for that, because that'll be fun. I don't know if you can get lunge from villager trading or not, or if it's an enchantment only, but we'll figure that one out when I get there. Not too worried about it for right now. That Nautilus armor, though, that's what's actually going to take the longest, because I have to just get lucky and just go find a chunk of Nautilus armor. I should also probably put away some of my tools. Oh, dang. Fair enough. Yeah, it's gotta be rough staying in a hotel for that long. I just ended up moving not too long ago, so only, but like 3 months ago by now, I ended up moving to a different city in Florida, and like, I had to stay there for however many years because I got a new job, so I'm still working through a bunch here, but it's been a pretty nice change of pace. I'm making a lot more money, and I actually get to like have time off. Like, I'm actually off 3 days a week now instead of 2, so that's pretty cool. Oh, swag, we already got some ancient debris. Hopefully, if we're lucky, we'll get a little more. Nope, looks like that was a 1 patch, but that's alright. Right, yeah, I'm finally at a point where I'm starting to get my life really well put together here. I just gotta keep working for probably another year or 2 to get some other stuff set up, but I got like a lot of the tough stuff like done. It's just a matter of paying off some debt and like just making sure that I actually get my licenses and stuff like that for a couple other things. That's cool. I don't think we're going any farther than that. Lucky that didn't get me either. I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, we're just strip mining for ancient debris till I can get enough, which, you know, we'll get it when we get it. There's no harm in it, so. Oh, nice. Yeah, 2 monitors is like one of those things that, like, once you have them, you can't ever really go back, so it can be really nice to have. I used to only have 1 monitor for the longest time until I started working at a job, and then they gave you 2 monitors, and I was like, oh, well, this is really nice. And now I've got 3 monitors at home, and technically I could have like a 4th if I really wanted to, because it's just in my closet, but like, I don't really have the space for it, and I gotta be careful about not overloading my circuit breaker or nothing in my place, so I can't really have too much more than this. But that's alright. I think I also get to start working remotely in like the next couple of weeks too, which will be really cool. Like on, I think every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday I'll be able to work remote, and then I just have to go in the office once a week on Thursdays, so that's going to be really fun. Because I tend to do a lot better when I don't have to like worry about keeping up in appearances as much, you know? It just makes life a lot easier when not to like feel like you get to play like a whole social game with a lot of people. It's just go to work, get your work done, go back home, and that's all anyone expects you to do. So it's going to be a very nice change of pace from my old place, so... And they pay me an extra, like, 12 grand a year compared to my old place, with better benefits for cheaper. And it's really nice. Well, let's go ahead and get all this patched up. I still like taking all the gold that I can. It's still good to have, you know? Let's see here. We got 2 pieces so far. We only need like 10 more. That's not too bad. That's cool. We're gonna put that away. And that completes this side, so we'll go out to the other side and go mine out another bit. And we're still digging. So the idea with this kind of strip mining as well is that basically it's super hard to get lost because there's one central route that points directly back to the main ladder that I used to get up and down. And then it branches every 10 blocks or so out to the side to actually do the strip mining. because you can physically reach 5 blocks out. So if you go 5 blocks out from here, and then from there you go 5 blocks out, you're eventually going to go 10 blocks out, and you can mine everything pretty reliably within a single chunk at a certain Y level. Interesting. Well, I don't think there's much digging there that we're going to be able to do. Luckily we're netherite armor, so we're not going to lose any durability from it, but a little freaky. Oh, we got some more ancient debris. Neat. Well, we should be coming up on this section. Yep, we're going to just do that. There we go. And I really wish potions were stackable, because I would love to just have a bundle of potions on hand with like instant health and fire resistance and stuff like that, but no luck on that so far. They still only delegated that to the combat update, which we hopefully will get one day. A good old fire, making all the bacon. We also got 5 pieces of ancient debris for right now, so again, doing alright on that front. Oh, I remember this spot. I had to stop mining here for a little while because this was as far as I could take the main tunnel, just due to the lava pits that we were dealing with, so this place is going to be a lot tougher to actually get through. Although we already do have a nice chunk of ancient debris, so hey, you know, I'll take it. That's all enough for a whole extra ingot after all. I think it's going to be the same issue here. Yep. Another lava patch. A little unfortunate, but hey, it happens. We are in the nether after all. Yeah, I hope they do larger updates soon too. I mean, ideally what it is like they've got the drop system, like one separate team is working on the drop system while a different team is working on like actual major updates. Because then you still get like content, like you still get steadier, smaller drops throughout the year that are like something to look forward to. But then you still actually get larger, like world-defining updates, you know, that you actually would care about. But given how they've been changing their numbering formatting super recently, where now it's going to be based off of like year and then like quarter basically for whatever the drop number is, it's not like the most promising thing in the world because of that change. Like they're going all in on the drop system and leaving like major updates behind to focus exclusively on drops, which again, like, I don't know. It's just kind of, eh. I would like to have large updates again, but they have got to make sure that, like, they commit to one thing or the other, and if they do both, then they need to have a team that does one part of it, the other team that does the other part of it, because having that overlap, I'm sure, is a lot of stress, but yeah, 26.1, I think, will be, like, the first one of the year or something like that. Like, that's what this next update with Amounts of Mayhem is going to be called, is like 26.1, I want to say, or maybe it will just be 1.21.12, but I mean, they were getting clowned on for like the massive increase in like version numbers for like 1.21 that like we're on 11 now or something like that. So then they said, all right, we get it. We'll just change the whole system completely, and like, you know, that'll be that. And I don't know if I agree with that too well. I mean, I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's worked for so long. Why would you change it? You know. It just seems kind of like an odd choice. I mean, I kind of get it for just making things a little bit simpler. Or, okay, on paper, it makes things simpler because of the whole Bedrock Java parity, but then they, like, knock it out of alignment because Bedrock gets, like, stability patches, like, every 3 months, like, on an off cycle. So, like, January, you get the Mounts of Mayhem or whatever, or I know it's December, but, like, 1 month, you get the Mounts of Mayhem, and then a month and a half later, you get the Bedrock patch, and then the other month and a half after that, you get whatever the next like update is and that kind of deal. So it knocks it out of alignment with Java, and it's like, what are you, you know, why? If your whole point was that it was supposed to be like, you know, have parity with them, and it doesn't, then like, what are we even doing at that point, you know? Yeah, I mean, Bedrock needs the updates too every 2 weeks at the rate they're going, unfortunately. They have not been doing too well, which it happens, but I think they had made like a pretty sizable amount of bug fixes in like one of the latest previews, so it is like getting better, but it still isn't exactly like particularly good. It's just better than what it was before. I'll tell you something, that's all you can ask for, but nope, we're gonna make sure that don't happen. Leave that open just in case. I might be in another dry patch of ancient debris here, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, I want like large updates every, I guess, year and a half or something like that, in addition to the drops, if they're able to have a separate team just for the drops. Because it's always tricky when it comes to making stuff, because when you see the finished product, you're like, why did this take you 8 months to develop? I could have made this in 2 seconds. And like, yes, you could have made the finished product in 2 seconds after they already did all the legwork of R&D and the actual creation process that takes up most of the time. In addition to also, you know, again, making the thing, like actually coding it into the game probably doesn't take nearly as long, but the act of actually getting something that you would want to put into the game probably eats up most of their time. So it's always kind of disingenuous when people are like, oh, why, you know, they're so lazy. It's like, you could just put that out in like 3 days and be done. And like, yeah, okay, sure, but, you know, why don't you come up with something original right now, and let's see if you can do it in 3 seconds, like how long it takes for you to code it. And it's like, no, you can't. It just takes too damn long. There's too many things to do. I don't think I can continue this tunnel no more. I think this one's a dead zone. That's rough, yeah. I can see if I can like force my way through here a little bit, but this one's gonna be kind of tricky because I'll have to like shrink a little bit. But yeah, major updates could be 10 to 12 months, but honestly, like, I would be okay with updates being, like, major updates being 12 to 15 months if it means that, like, the major update is properly, like, major, like, Nether update or Caves and Cliffs Part 2 major, you know, where you really feel like there's some seriously, like, big substance there. That seems to be a bigger problem than I could handle there. That's not nice. Like, if they want to take more time for stuff, they can, but if they want to do the drop system as well, they can do that, but they also need to, like, make sure that big updates are part of the game, because drops just aren't going to be that renewable long-term. Well, not renewable, but, like, you know, having a update like that every 3 months where, you know, it's a couple new mobs and it's, like, a couple new items and, like, kind of cool things is one thing, but when there's nothing that's really like new that you would like actively want to go out of your way to interact with a lot all the time, it can be kind of disheartening. Like, again, like, there's always like a new dimension or new biome and stuff like that everybody wants, or like an end update, which is, again, completely fair. I would personally want an end update, but it's just like, you gotta have those mixed in with the drops the right way, and those drops have got to just be, I don't know, like, the drops just don't stand enough on their own to just straight up replace major updates, so I'm really hoping that they also have, like, proper major updates still, and they're not gonna, like, commit so hard to drops that that's just it forever, you know? Again, the drops are cool, but it just, the novelty wears off fast, especially with how fast they pump them out by comparison, and it just, it's not that it's filler content, but it's the stuff in between major updates as far as I can see it personally. So yeah, I mean, well, at the same time though, imagine if they did lump like 4 drops into a single major update, then like we get a good chunk of new mobs and stuff that's kind of like disconnected from each other in its own bits. Oh, that actually was gonna make it me. Shoot, I think that was gonna make it. That's not nice. You can stop whenever now, though. There we go. I really need to block this off a little better. Ah, good enough. I'll do that. But I just feel like them just crunching all the drops together in a single update isn't the right answer either, because they're all going to be kind of disconnected from each other. And that's by design, because they were designed with like seasonality in mind, right? Where it's a new topic that they're going through each season, and then that's kind of like what the update's based around or whatever, right? Or rather, the update's made first, and then like the name is like made around that or whatever. But point being, they're all disconnected. If it's just random drops strung together into one large update, it just doesn't really feel right. So hopefully they like, again, one team for the drops that should be fairly small, and it's more like concept and not something that's like super duper insanely hard to like program into the game once the concept is fleshed out. And then a separate team that works behind the scenes on like actual major updates. And I think they're just going to keep getting a lot of flack for this until they drop a major update and really prove that like this is really like the best way to go, because you get the best of having relatively frequent updates, but you also get the major updates that are actually exciting and like really stick with the game for a long time. Because again, there are certain things in like the drops that have been really cool that like long term they can be useful, but 90% of them haven't felt particularly exciting. I mean, like the happy gas is really exciting and was like very, very nice to have. Like seriously, that thing for building is an absolute godsend. And I kind of want more stuff like that, where like there's a thing that they add, and maybe a couple other like balance changes, but there's a thing singular that they add that's really, really good and does something really cool. And then otherwise, they're just kind of trying to go around that, you know. That's kind of how I view it personally, but... I didn't dig these out as far as I needed to, but that's because there was a bunch of lava in the way. So for like the Happy Gas update, again, like the Happy Gas was pretty much the main draw of it, and it feels like a very nice niche of being able to build up in the sky a lot better. And it was really, really good for it. And then that's pretty much all it needs to be. And same deal with the Nautilus, you know, it's a bunch of aquatic building too that makes it easier to build under the water before you actually get a conduit, which is really nice. And also, since like Nautilus can actually be like bred and killed and they can drop Nautilus shells, you actually have like a much not easier way to get Nautilus shells, but like instead of having to bank on fishing or like killing a drown holding a Nautilus shell, it does feel a lot more natural to do. I'm also half surprised that they didn't like make it so you couldn't use like a brush on like a Nautilus like you could with Armadillo skis, because I felt like they would have gone that route with like obtaining Nautilus shells from them instead of just killing them. But like it still is kind of a nice change of pace that you actually have like a mob, you, as fucked up as it is, a mob that you can kill to actually get something instead of like tame it or crush it or milk it or whatever the deal is to get the thingamabob out of it. So it's good that they're still able to do that. It's just been a while since that's actually been the case, but still good that they're able to. But yeah, I mean, like, once they can add stuff that does a specific thing, like a mob that does a specific thing that you aren't really able to do without it, that's kind of like the things I would want out of a drop, is like you get one, maybe two mobs that do something like that, but they're really finely polished and they're really good and nice to use. And then maybe you get like a small handful of new blocks or whatever, depending on if it fits within the theme of that mob or idea that's going on there. And if it does fit, great. If not, there's always next time to get more blocks, you know? But yeah, I just want the small updates to be polished in their own right versus just having like, oh, you know, it's just a bunch of stuff together and that'll hold you over until the next major update, because again, like, that shouldn't be the idea of just being like, oh, it's just here until the next major update, or stitch them together and that makes a major update. It's, they're a thing that you get while waiting for the major update. I think that's the idea they're trying to go for. Or at least I hope that's the idea that they're trying to go for. And it's not just, we're going to replace everything with drops, because that would really stink if they replaced everything with drops. Because, again, for the long-term benefit of the game, not having major updates is really, really probably not a good idea. because again, the drops are holdover content until you get to a major update. But if there's never a major update again, then the drops really are really lackluster for what they're supposed to replace. If there's never going to be a major update again, which there will be. I mean, there's no way that they're just going to decide like, oh yeah, we're done. You know, we don't want to add anything too major or anything anymore, or having something like an end update be contained like in a drop, like a quarterly drop that they have would be just weird. Like that would have to be like its own thing that's changed all at once like that, like in its own update. But then that also doesn't like sit well with like the versioning numbers that are there too. That also makes me wonder as well, like, okay, if their whole reasoning for what they've done recently with like the number changes is so that way they can like have a separate number for the drop or whatever, why not have it be like 1.22, which is the major update, .1 for the drop, .2 for the next drop, 3 for the third, 4 for the fourth, and then, you know, have a separate decimal like you do on Bedrock Edition for actual minor fixes / hotfix updates. Because then it goes, you know, and again, you could even just do 22 dot, if you don't want the 1 dot, then you could just do 22.1 dot, whatever the hotfix number is. You know, you don't need to tie it to the year or anything at this point. It's just kind of an odd idea to do. Like, just commit to something, man. Just have a nicer naming scheme than just the year. But yeah, I mean, I get their part though with like not wanting to have like certain numbers be too big because again, their current system of numbering doesn't really work with the drop format. So I get why they want to change it, but again, the way that they decided to change it was just really weird and clunky, you know? It just didn't really sit right with me. And granted, I'm one person, so what the hell do I know? But I mean, it definitely is one of those things that I feel like if they could figure that out before they start making those changes too much, you could actually get something that makes a little bit more sense. Or at least hopefully. I really do think that would be the way to go, where you have update dot drop dot hotfix or whatever, like that kind of format. It's super clear, easy to read. You could have as many hotfixes as you want, all that kind of deal. And they don't tend to do too many hotfixes at least, so it's not too bad, but at least it'll keep the actual important parts consistent between Bedrock and Java. And then like the hotfix number is going to change between them because there's going to be times where Bedrock's going to need a hotfix and Java won't, and vice versa. Although usually it's going to be Bedrock needs a hotfix and Java doesn't. So, and again, if they're going to desync their numbers anyways, because of how Bedrock has like the mid like drop, you know, bug fixes, then fuck it at that point. Just don't even bother with like the current numbering system that they're going for with the, you know, with the year and the date, because it won't even line up. Just do it the other way, where it's update, hotfix, or update, drop, and then, you know, hotfix. That's all you gotta do. It's not too bad. But who knows? They'll come to their senses one day, hopefully. I don't know. Maybe they will. Oh, Ancient Tree. I actually was thinking about not mining here because this was in the Basalt Delta, but I guess I'm glad I did. Even if it was for only one piece, it is still better than nothing, so... Currently sitting at 7 pieces here out of 12, so we are over the halfway mark of this, but it does, you know, takes time. We got all the time in the world today as far as I'm concerned, so... I'll get to it when we get to it. There we go. And that's as far as that's going because there's no way I'm digging all that out. Alright. So, again, what we're doing here is, depending on what block we're physically standing on, it's going to be 49. We're going to dig it out to 59. Which is going to be right there. And then we're going to go another 10 blocks. And do it again. There's 79. 89. 99. And yeah, I guess we'll dig this out. Hey, we got some more ancient debris. Nice. We'll scout around that area for a little bit more. Oh, that looks like we aren't getting any. Tough. Oh, it's alright. We're at 8 now, I think, so we do have a whole nother 2 ingots to use. So that's enough for horse armor and a spear or Nautilus armor. I definitely want the horse armor because that's something I can get like instantly as soon as the update comes out. I can get netherite horse armor really quick, but not so much for the Nautilus armor because that is going to take some time to go out and find. And in fact, I actually don't know how to get it. I know it's in shipwreck chest, but I thought there was another way to get it. Let's see here, diamond Nautilus armor. Let's find out. What do we got? Obtaining. You get diamond Nautilus armor from either buried treasure, a shipwreck, and any of the shipwreck chests could have it. Ocean ruins, any of the ocean ruins chests could have it, or buried treasure. Okay, so like it's not too bad to get a hold of as long as you know that like you've got multiple things you can go try and get, but it definitely will take some time to get a hold of, that's for sure. But once you get one thing of Nautilus armor, you're pretty much fine, you know. I mean, unless you have like Nautili and like different bodies of water that you would then want to use, then that's probably when you would want multiple bits of netherite Nautilus armor, but it's, you know, that's neither here nor there. Additionally, I should also check to see what enchantments the spear can have, because I also don't know that either. I think it has all the sword enchantments, I want to say. But I'm not 100% sure on that one either. Let's see here. Enchantment, sharpness. Sharpness might bring arthropods, yeah. Which, you know, those are all mutually exclusive. Looting, knockback, fire aspect, lunge. Yeah. Okay. The only new one that the spear gets is lunge, which lunge you can get by trading with a librarian. Okay. So yeah, we'll have to roll a new librarian villager to get lunge available from all of the trading hall stuff. But otherwise, we can get all of the other enchantments just through trading. And additionally, I could also put fire aspect on it, honestly, because fire aspect is pretty neat. So that would be cool. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we could probably go trade for a lunge villager at some point. That shouldn't be too hard. Anywho, let's go ahead and get all this put in place here and just keep on digging. Hey, yep, we got a lot of digging to do. We are hitting a couple of soul sand patches though, I will say. Which is a little annoying, but hey, you know, it is what it is. We'll make it through. But yep, we are looking for 4 more pieces of ancient debris. Technically it's less than that, but I'm going for 4 just that way I have a little bit of netherite left over in case there's like a lazy day I want to take with it, but who knows. No, ancient debris. Cool. Uh-oh. God damn it. Come on, man. See if there is any more ancient debris in this little pit. Nope, there ain't. Damn, it's already been 40 minutes. Oh, so it's been netherite mining. Oh well. We're at 9 pieces now, so we don't have too much more to go get. The Silk Touch pickaxe is taking quite a beating here, though. I may have to switch to the Fortune one here pretty soon. Just out of curiosity, I always wonder, could you just hover over something? Oh, and you can switch them like that. That explains a lot. Good to know. I want to actually start using hotkeys a lot more in games, but that means I would actually have to remember what buttons do and actually reach over to hit a number to do things, so it usually takes me a little bit to remember them all. Yep, that's as far as we go. Ooh. So 3 more pieces of ancient debris. If we're really lucky, we'll get it in one go, but considering how my luck has been, I will probably not get that lucky. You can dream, though. You can indeed dream. Here's some gold, that's always nice. And some more gold. Yeah, we'll probably have to put away the Silk Touch pickaxe here. We'll just switch it out with our Fortune one. We haven't run into any lava in quite a while here. Oh, you got some ancient debris. this could be it. That's 1. That's 2. And it looks like it's only 2. But hey, 2 is better than 1, so we only need to find 1 more now, and we will have all the debris we're looking for. Oh, well, okay. That makes it easier. Nice. Alright, there we go. So we've got all the debris we're looking for officially. We're done. We can bail if we want to, but we should try and keep digging here until we get to lava, and then we'll dig out the sides. Also got some of that going. We'll use the silverfish-based XP farm to just get some XP to fix up all of our tools. I won't use the slime farm one though, just because I think it does actually produce less XP, and I kind of just really need XP right now. I want to have all my tools in tip-top shape. Ah, more ancient debris. Grab that XP orb. Yeah, not so sure about that one. Oh, we're almost to the end of this one, and we just have to do it on the way back, so shouldn't be too hard. We got 14 pieces of ancient debris as well. That's pretty solid. I think we have enough to make an extra piece of netherite. Which, hey, you know, it's always nice to have. I do actually want to make those additional netherite helmets that I had talked about in the past with the other, like, protection enchantments that are on them. Because having, like, a special netherite helmet for, like, blast protection and fire protection is useful for, like, very, very specific situations. So it is nice to have, like, more niche armor, you know? Especially the fire protection one, because that fire protection one lets me basically just be under lava forever. As long as I have food, that is. But that means I wouldn't have to have fire resistance at all if I was doing something like kind of stupid, so... And saying the blast protection is still really, really useful though, all things considered. Just because you can shank an entire charge creeper with a blast protection helmet. Which, hey, it's always nice. Interesting. More ancient debris. Nice. Another 2-pack it looks like. Still always nice to see. Alright, we finally made it to the other end, so we can get the hell out of here now. Yeah, it puts us at 16 pieces, so not enough for like a 5th ingot, but hey, 4.5 still pretty good. And we can always come back down later for more netherite. It's not too big a deal. I could probably elytra through this, but that also feels like a really dumb idea, so probably don't want to try that. Besides, we're already here where we need to be. Oh, let's go ahead and just toss out some of this netherrack. We don't need this no more. We'll get rid of that, and that. There we go. And we'll keep the rest of it. So gravel is still useful. Gold is obviously gold. That's all good. And then soul sand. I don't really get a lot of soul sand, so I might as well pick it up while I got it. Although, granted, I am outside of a soul sand valley, so like I don't need this soul sand, but it's already in my inventory. May as well take it with me, you know. Alrighty. We're gonna go drop all this off at home first, and then we will actually go over to the trading hall. We'll go pick up a box of books, that way we can go make the spear as fast as possible, basically. And the only thing we won't be able to get for it yet is lunge, because we'll have to work for that one a little bit, but I have the resources in place to get that easy enough, so should be fine. Here we go. And we'll just pop right on over here and we'll dump in ancient debris on both ends, like so. And we'll get a little bit more coal for the rest of this gold here. Here we go. So we'll let all that cook up, and we will go ahead and dump the rest of this away. So our netherite bit should be there, and we should have some gravel up and around this area, I want to say. Here we go. And that should clean us out of everything. I should make a chest with a bunch of dyes in it. Kind of feeling like I need to do that. We won't worry about that so much right now. See how we're doing here. These guys been keeping up pretty well. Or fine enough, rather. Got quite a lot of redstone from all the witch drops we've accumulated so far. So yeah, I mean, like, while this isn't like a traditional witch farm, it certainly does help, you know? Same deal, we'll go check to see what's going on over here. Yeah, again, a nice bit of witch drops. Pretty cool. Yeah, dang. Neat. Let's see what our render distance is at. It is at 24. Perfect. We got our horse and all of our sheep down there. Got all that lit up pretty well. So got a couple of dark spots here and there, but nothing to really care about too much. And otherwise, we've got some more netherite we can put together here. Let's go ahead and tuck that away. We'll make that no gold block. And we'll keep those together. So when the update comes out, we will be able to make some more of those, nice and easy. Let's also make some more upgrade templates. There we go. Just so we can have a little surplus again. And otherwise, let's go get like a stack of iron blocks. And we'll take those with us to the trading hall. But we'll go sleep first though. You know what I should do? I should make like some other like weird items that I don't tend to make normally, like flint and steel and brushes and things like that. Let me see here. Let's see here. A mace. We gotta go get it at some point. I guess I could go and change the fishing rod if I really wanted to, but I'm not really gonna do that. Um, hmm. I guess I could do a crossbow at some point, but I don't need to worry about that. I could do shears, like mending, unbreaking, efficiency 5 shears. And then brush, carrot on a stick, cork fungus on a stick, flint and steel. Yeah, okay. So there's a couple of things we could go get, and we'll actually try and stockpile those before we head out. Put them into a shulker box, so we'll go ahead and get just a couple of things to be able to enchant. Let's see here. We're gonna want shears. So let's go ahead and get a couple of shears, or just the one shear, honestly. It looks like you can't enchant dog armor. I wasn't sure if you could or not, but the answer is no, apparently. Flint and steel. We'll go ahead and take one of those again. Fuck it, let's just keep the loose iron on us because we're gonna want it for other things. Crossbow. I think we need some string. Oh, and a tripwire hook. That was the weird bit. Stick, plank, and iron ingot. Alright, there's our crossbow. Flint and steel, carrot on a stick, wart fungus on a stick. Just a fishing rod and a carrot and wart fungus. I never got a wart fungus ever, so I can't even make that yet. Alright, well I guess we'll make 2 fishing rods. We'll have one actual fishing rod and then another one will be a carrot on a stick. There we go. Oh, and a brush, right. We're gonna make a lot of brushes here. We've only got 3 feathers though, so alright, there we go, and flint and steel. So if we go back to our gravel chest, we should have a little bit of flint laying around. Probably. You can find the frickin' thing. Yep, there we go. Make ourselves a new flint and steel, and that really should be all the tools that I need to enchant. I could also enchant a shield, obviously, but like, again, no shields. Don't want to touch it at all if I can help it. Trial Chambers technically can give you a shield as well, so that's the only time it should ever enter my inventory, but then it's immediately, like, gone. I'd throw it out, but... Let's see here. You got the fishing rod. Yeah, the only other thing at some point will either be like a turtle shell, which I'm never really going to use, or a mace. Yeah. Which the mace is kind of its own thing that I would have to try and get a hold of, so that's a little different. And yeah, we can do a fishing rod. Trident, we don't have a trident yet, I think, so that's why I haven't bothered to even like look for trident stuff, because it is a bit of a pain to get a hold of. But otherwise, we got everything that we're looking to trade for. So we'll just go ahead and pop on down and maybe get our boat back out too while we're at it. I guess I can throw that flint and steel out. I don't really need that. And we'll take the coordinates book back with us. We can hang on to that for a little while. I should also try and get like a dye chest going as well. Let's see here. Cocoa beans are still the only way you can get brown dye after all this time, man. Damn, that is rough. Alright, we'll do a quick pop in over here. Alright, so enchanting, it's mainly just going to be on breaking 3 and mending. Let's not beat around the bush here, this will be pretty easy to get. Let's see here. Oh, right, efficiency was one of them I needed to get as well. Alright, so we want efficiency for the shears only. We don't need it for literally anything else. I'll see if I have piercing 4 somewhere else, because I don't want to just buy piercing 3. Alright, then mending. Here we go. Mending, efficiency, mending, 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 and mending. Alright, got all the mending books. Oh, and quick charge 3 for the crossbow. And piercing 4 for the crossbow. I don't really care for multi-shot, personally. And then we'll do on breaking 3. We need 8 on breaking 3 books. Next we'll do layer 3. There we go. I have enough books there. We need to buy 2 more. We don't have Luck of the C3, I think, out of any of these, since it was such a niche enchantment I don't care about at all, so... It's only useful for fishing, and I don't really do a lot of fishing. I can always get Luck of the Sea through an enchantment table, so it hardly matters. But at some point, I guess I will want to be able to buy it just to make things a little bit easier, but at day is not today. Alright, breaking 3. There we go, and that is the full set of boxes I need to have. Alright, now we're just going to go ahead and put everything together. Nice and simple. There's our shears. There's our crossbow. Oops. Alright, the rest of these are just mending and unbreaking, so should be super easy to do. We just need more levels for it. Guess we can go ahead and restock on food here for a sec. Here we go. Should be unbreaking 3 then mending. And we're really just waiting for these guys to open up shop again. I guess while we're waiting, we can go ahead and check on the other iron farm that's here. See how we're doing on iron. We got a little extra. Never hurts to have more. Till we can't store it all, then it hurts to have more, but we are actively working on solving that problem. And we're just going to be waiting here for a while, so I will double check the wiki in the meantime. Right, there we go. Let's just get whatever we can hatched up here. Okay. Alright, how much does it cost? 6 levels. There we go. Alright, then last little bit we gotta tack on. Alright, and then from here on we can basically just use all of the trading to get levels for XP to go ahead and fix up all of our tools. Alright, there we go. That's a full set of tools that are enchanted except for the fishing rod, but we will worry about that another time. We'll just trade all this iron for emeralds here. There we go. Alright, that got basically all my tools fixed up, which is great. And we can go ahead and craft those back into blocks, that into blocks. And just keep all that tucked away. And we're good. So yeah, we just need to get Luck of the C3 at some point for that, and then we'll be fine there. Technically, I could try and also get some of the additional Trident enchantments at least stockpiled together, same with the Mace enchantments. That way, as soon as we get a Trident or a Mace, we can just enchant it with all the stuff that we're looking to get. But I don't think I'm going to do that yet. I don't really feel like I need to. So I'll go ahead and close that out for now. Oh, and then we also want to get the spear enchantments, so we actually need to get some books and emeralds again here. There we go. Alright. So for my spear, I'm going to want sharpness, looting, probably knockback, funnily enough. I kind of want knockback for this. Not something I tend to get normally. Mending is a course. Gotta have mending. Breaking 3, gotta have unbreaking 3. Darkness. Fire aspect, I do want that as well. There's looting 1, but one of these guys should have looting 3. Right? No? Wow. Okay, I never got looting ever, apparently. That can't be right. That's super fucked up. Well, at the same time, the only reason I have looting, at least on my sword, was probably because... Oh, yeah, that was probably when I was doing all my enchantments manually. Right, okay. That makes enough sense then. Shoot. Alright, fire aspect 2, and then knockback 2 at some point. We'll buy some glass just so we can get some levels. Alright. And then we'll have to buy a little bit more. Oh, where's that one that's like not even fully leveled up yet? What am I doing? There we go. We'll get him up to master just so we can actually have everything all nice and clean there. We'll put that extra glass away. And... Alright, we wanted to combine Unbreaking 3 and Mending. Alright, so Sharpness 5, Fire Aspect, Knockback, Breaking 3 and Mending. Sharpness, Knockback, Fire Aspect, Unbreaking, Mending. We just need Looting and a Lunge once we get Lunge. And I guess mace-wise, for the mace we could do... I think I wanted to do Density is one of them. Yeah, we'll get the mace enchantments while we're here too. I don't really care too much about Trident enchantments, but you know, since we're already here, we'll get the mace ones. Alright. I don't think I really want fire aspect on a mace as well. It just feels kind of wrong. I'll pick up the Trident enchantments too, so we went Riptide, Channeling, and Loyalty. Although I don't think we actually have Loyalty anywhere. Density we want. Yeah, so really all you want on a mace is like density, maybe wind burst, depending on how you're feeling, and then unbreaking and winding. Yeah, nothing for loyalty, so oh well. Alright, let's do our Unbreaking 3 and Bending books. That'll go there, that'll go there. Density, Channeling, and Riptide. And then Channeling and Loyalty will be put together, so I'll have 2 Tridents. I'll have a Riptide Trident and a Channeling Loyalty Trident. And then Density Mace, and then Density Windburst Mace at some point. Fuck, I totally forgot what else I wanted. And I wanted looting for that one thing, for the spear. But I'm trying to think what else I freaking wanted, man. Oh, I wanted to see if I had loyalty anywhere. Although I don't think I actually did have loyalty. I think I made that one kind of clear. Yeah, no loyalty. Tough. Oh well. As soon as I leave here, I'll remember. Oh, I think I wanted to get extra mace enchantments, like an extra batch of them for having a non-windburst mace, but frankly, I'll just like have a windburst mace first, or hold on to it or whatever, because you're only gonna get one mace for a long time, you know, since it takes so damn long to get. But yeah, otherwise we got all the other enchantments we're really looking for here, so I'm pretty happy with this. We shouldn't have to really worry about that for right now. So I can go ahead and close that article out. And for your dies as well, I'm going to put a die chest together so that way I can actually like track how much die I should be trying to make or what I can use to make them and stuff like that. Because they're kind of annoying to make in bulk, so. But that's alright. Oh, impaling. That's what it was. It was impaling that I wanted. I'm so smart all the time. I wanted 2 impaling 5 books because I'll need them for both of the tridents at some point. And something tells me I'm not going to get a trident for a long time because unless I actively go out of my way to go find one, probably ain't going to happen. That's alright. Alright, let's see here. I guess I could have just pulled from these two. I didn't really have to do what I did, but that's alright. Impaling. Anybody got impaling? I'm fairly certain somebody had impaling 5, but... Oh, I had looting 1 in here, but not 3. Because I was like, oh, I can just make all that together. Which, yeah, I can, but probably not the best use of resources. But hey, it's fine. It's negligible. There we go. Okay. That broke finally. Alright. So that'll complete all of those enchantments there. And then, yeah, we're really just looking to see if we can get, you know, impaling 5. There's impaling 1, like that's gonna happen. I could have sworn I had somebody with like a really high level of impaling, but it might have been a villager that I passed over and then just re-rolled him. Which does sound about right, so... I only need 2 impaling 5 books ever. I mean, once you make both of those tridents, that's really it, you know? Yeah, there's a good chance I didn't actually ever end up getting them, so... that chance is looking more and more likely. Yeah, we got impaling 1, but you need, like, a lot of impaling 1 books. You need 2 to make level 2, 4 for 3, 8 for 4, and then 16 for level 5. So you would have to buy 16 impaling 1 books, combine them all, and then that would get you impaling 5. So that's a no-go. But that's alright, we'll get there one day. Oh well. We'll also go ahead and put all this iron and emeralds back. We don't really need these no more. There we go, and the books. Can't forget about the books. Okay. So when the update comes out tomorrow, we'll probably take some time to just get some villager stuff done. So we'll get the lunge guy, we'll get impaling 5, we'll get looting 3, we'll get a whole bunch of other like things that I've been kind of missing on. And then once all those are done, we'll be able to make the rest of our tools all well. And yeah, it should be fun. But we'll see what happens there. But let's go ahead and go do some work on our base. We'll go make a dye chest. Not really make a dye chest, we'll just have a spot somewhere in our base that we can put a bunch of dyes in. Alright. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and eat real quick. And let's go ahead and we'll see what we can get. We'll make like, I don't know, a stack of each dye or something up to what we can make. I forgot they changed the dye textures pretty recently too. There's a stack of white dye. We'll try gray dye next, which is black and white, which actually I can already tell you we are not hitting that at all, because that ain't happening. So we're going to put that one on the back burner. And by extension, we're going to put gray dye and light gray dye in the back burner too. Round dye is cocoa beans. I, honest to God, don't think I have any cocoa beans anywhere. I've got no cocoa beans anywhere. Damn. That's rough, buddy. Well, we got some more dye, I guess. I can make orange dye, yellow dye. I can put all these guys away, that's for sure. There we go, we'll make some yellow dye. Alright, we're gonna do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, or however those colors are gonna go for what we're looking to do. And then we'll do that. We'll do that. There we go. Make some orange dye. Lime dye is super annoying because you're basically just gonna have to get like sea pickles. Yep, you're just gonna have to smelt a crap ton of sea pickles for lime dye realistically. Which we can get, that's fine. Cyan dye. You can get with pitcher plants, interestingly enough, but then otherwise you just need blue and green dye. Let's see here. Blue dye we can get fairly well. Let's go get a stack and a half of lapis real quick. So a stack there, half a stack there. Convert the rest into that. And we put it back in the box. And then I want half a stack of white dye to make light blue dye. There we go. I guess I already did have some light blue dye. I don't think you can rename a shulker box what has stuff in it, right? I don't remember. But we'll find out here soon enough. Let's go to an anvil. Which I should probably dot some more around the world, so we'll call this one toolbox. Because that's what it is. We also have literally so few levels we can't even rename anything anymore, so that's cool. Alright. Oh, let's go ahead and get all of our diamond pickaxes put away in there. And you can't enchant the spyglass, there's nothing to enchant. That's fine. Alright, we'll put our rods next to each other. There we go. And then I'll put these tools in the toolbox too. There we go. And then this will just be like a utilities box. And like my general purpose one. Yeah, we don't have any levels, so we can't do that. Well, we don't need to dye this one. We'll just put that in there for right now. And this one stays with me. I want the potion of healing box to be like red or something. But we're not going to worry about that yet, because we're still going to craft up some more dyes here. Purple dye is red dye plus blue dye, so we need half a stack of red and half a stack of blue. So half a stack of red. And we'll go get half a stack of blue, which I guess is actually over here with our lapis again. There we go. And we'll go ahead and make purple dye. Magenta can be made with alliums or lilacs. Lilacs are 2 tall flowers. Pink dye can be made with peonies, so that's fine. And then that's all the dye. So, let's see here. What were some of the easy ones we could make? We could make white dye. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can make 7 of the dyes really easy. And then there's another batch that we haven't like done anything with. I should also take a little bit of yellow dye, a little bit of red dye, and we'll do like white dye for our own box. So just out of curiosity, what would I mind not losing in case something fucked up? That one. Nope, we're good. Here we go. That makes it easier to color code some stuff. All right. And then as for some of the other dyes, they can be kind of delegated to micro farms, which are literally just a bunch of dispenser clocks and bone meal. So we can make those pretty easily. You know what we need to get to? We need to get a rose bush. I don't know where my rose bush went, but apparently it's gone. That's not cool at all. Also sounds like we have a chicken jockey nearby because there's a baby zombie that's alive that sounds like it lived. Yep, there he is. Got the music disc again. We'll just dump that away in there. Something's out and about right now. About to say, I know somebody's still alive out here. And yeah, I mean, like pink and magenta dye, we can get pretty easy. I'm gonna pop into a creative world real quick because I vaguely remember the design and to make like one of those auto bits, like those micro farms. But those should be super easy to do. But I just don't quite remember because it should just be a dispenser, a sticky piston, and like an observer clock basically. And then mud would be one of them we're gonna want. And then a hopper. And then we'll get a chest. And then we'll get some glass. Kinda want it done another way. There we go. Alright, so a couple of things. Trying to think how I want to do this. Okay. Well, where that's gonna get annoying, but just bear with it for a sec. Alright. And then all we need now is just some dust. There we go. There we go. Something nice and simple like that. And then all we need from here is just the ability to dump in some bone meal. So we don't even really need to have like a feed system or anything. We literally just need to be able to physically get up here and drop in some bone meal. I guess we'll use cobblestone for this instead of sandstone. And we can make it out of whatever we want. It's just easier to do this. And if I really need to, I can have hoppers with like barrels. I guess I could do chests, right? Like it would split it. And even if it doesn't split it, I could just do that. We'll just get rid of all that for right now. There you go. And then otherwise, it's basically just like a solid chunk of redstone, so nothing too bad. And then we could go ahead and get a door. So that way we could have like easy access into here if needed. And then we'll get some stairs. There we go. And then it's literally just something like this. So yeah, nothing too hard. Maybe a little screwed up right now. I have no idea, but we'll see. Anyways, once you've got that done, then really all you gotta do is have a lever. Oh, but you can't quite have it be there. I could always just use like the old like glass staircase method, so then we literally just need to do something like this where we can just run a line upwards. Actually off a little bit here. There we go, that's what we want. Just a little something like that. So now if I pull this lever, everything will activate. And then if I pull it again, it deactivates. And then you've got your way physically into here if you need to do any kind of maintenance or place any flowers. So let's see here if we can go ahead and find our flowers out of here. I think we can bone meal pink petals too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna grab a pitcher plant because I'm just kind of curious if you can bone meal these or not once they're fully grown. I don't think you can. I think you have to get them to dig up from the sniffer, which is a bit of a shame, but hey, you know, I get it. Oops, did not mean to do that. I just wanted to break that one because I know that'll work. I'm just curious about the pitcher plant. Alright, so then we'll go ahead and get some bone meal up in this chest here. There we go. The only caveat is it looks like I end up blocking the hopper that's next to it by accident, so maybe if I got a repeater instead. And then there's some kind of quasi-connectivity or something happening here because something ain't wanting to work here too well. Oh, let's see if we can figure this one out. Also maybe have like a bit of a separation here, a little bit more. Alright, let's get some dust, a lever, cobblestone, some glass. Yep, and it looks like pitcher pods won't work. Bit unfortunate, but hey, I get it. Alright, so pitcher pods are a no-go. Let's see if I can look up the wiki. Alright, bone meal can fertilize the following plants. You can do wheat, carrot, potatoes, beetroots, bamboo, melon, pumpkin. Well, for the stems at least. All saplings, all the 4 tall flowers, mushrooms. Cocoa is kind of its own thing. Sea pickles, I guess. Kelp, we don't care about. The different vines, the glow lichen, moss, which no. Dirt. We can bone meal pink petals, so that's good. But we can already get pink dye from one of these anyway, so that doesn't even matter. So there's no other dye we can make just with the bone meal microfarm except for these. And technically sea pickles with like bone meal, but that's a little different. That's just because of how the sea pickle colony thing works, so that's a little different. But yeah, we could build just this little thing for, you know, I can trim up the sides or whatever. We just build this little thing for being able to get a hold of some extra flowers and dye and stuff like that. And I mean, that would pretty much cover us, so otherwise we can get everything else super easy and then it just slots in wherever I've got space basically. So yeah, not too hard to do, just something we can do. but that is not something I want to do right now because I kind of just want to go rest for a bit. So I think that's going to do it for me today. Got a lot of streaming coming up here in the next week. So tomorrow it's going to be all about the Mounts of Mayhem update and trying to do as much as we can there. And I believe on Wednesday the Pokemon ZA DLC is coming out. So as soon as that happens, I'll be there too. So we got a lot of streaming. I'll probably stream every day this week just because I can, and we will see what happens. But yeah, with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see y'all again next time. Bye bye.